Hey guys, welcome to the PPC questions and answers show, the most masculine PPC answers that you'll get this side of the universe. My name is Chris, and with me, the loud guy on the other end, is Jason Rothman. Together, we answer questions that you send us through paidsearchpodcast.com. Today, we got a question from Elizabeth. Jason, how you doing, by the way? Doesn't matter. So today's question is from
We just recorded the last episode. You don't need to do this little game show host. Oh, it's a totally new day. Everyone sees what you're wearing. Shut up and host the show.
Okay. Said, hello, gentlemen. First of all, that's a great way to get our attention. I like to be called gentlemen. It's very polite. Thank you. I'm gonna condense Elizabeth's email because she has a lot of questions. We appreciate all the details. I just don't want to read all of it. So she has a residential house cleaning franchise in Michigan. Okay. Basically, she has a digital team that manages her AdWords from the corporate office. Okay. Corporate office. So she's disconnected with her AdWords campaign. She does not get to make decisions, although she's trying to stay educated, obviously, by listening to our main show, Paid Search Podcast. So she wants to know a few things. One, is what's most important for her to review in the campaign. Two, how often should she get reports, and how can she find problems from the important data that she's looking at? You know, what should she consider a problem when she sees it? And then number four, the back end data. What should she really hope to see on a report? So Jason, let's knock these out here. I think these are going to be pretty straightforward because these are true benchmarks of just about any reporting. We've talked about reporting before. You know, what should you see and what should you not see on a report? Jason, take it away on the first one. What do you think should be the most important thing?
Yeah. So Elizabeth, this is probably it's a great question because it's probably a situation so many people are in, Chris. They have a franchise. They're a player in the marketing budget. They're being charged marketing budget every month, but someone else is doing it in a totally different state, and you don't have control. So you're in the game, invested in the game, but you don't have control. So I can see how that'd be very frustrating. But it can work. But the two things I would want to see if it was my money on the line, but I didn't have control: search terms. I would want to see what search terms I'm showing up on. Now, it's not everything because they could be running broad keywords, getting a really, really low cost per conversion. And one of the side effects of broad keywords to get a low cost per conversion, which is great, is that you also sometimes have some bad search terms come through. So it's not everything, but I would at least want to know what search terms I'm paying for. That's huge. And yes, they can get you this data. The reporting software I use, Optimizer, you can choose just to show a report for search terms. You can do it with all kinds of reporting software, and they can do it manually. So I would want to see search terms, and I would want to see conversions. I would want to know how many conversions I was getting each month. In terms of the most important things, those are the two things I'm looking for. Chris, and cost per conversion based on the number of conversions. Is there anything else that you would just have to see?
Yeah, I think one of the things that's going to be important is, you know, let's say, you know, and this is the case for a lot of campaigns. Let's say there's not a whole lot of conversions. And you know, I think search terms are incredibly important. Make sure, you know, you can see keywords. They'll probably be fine showing you keywords. Search terms is something you have to maybe define for them. This is, you know, very different from search keywords. This is search terms or search queries. So getting that is important. And if you don't get a whole lot of conversions, maybe conversion data doesn't tell you a lot. Maybe you only get, you know, like a 1% conversion rate, you know, but it's still profitable for you. And, you know, that's only a couple conversions per month. So other things you might want to ask for is looking at Google Analytics metrics. How fast are people leaving the site? You know, how often do they bounce on the site? You know, this could be important. And also, if you can always ask, but you could ask for an export of the campaign. Look at how many ad groups they have and how many ads they have per ad group. If they have one ad group and 50 keywords in 2 ads, this is a problem. This would be defining your question, number 3 question, finding problems. The problem of this is the specific back-end problem you'd be getting, or information you'd be getting is how many ad groups, how many keywords in each ad group, how many different ad variations do they have? And the problem that you identify is that they're trying to cram too much into one ad group, and it looks very amateur. It is not sorted by category or topic. It's just kind of haphazardly thrown. You've got residential cleaning right next to industrial cleaning, right next to move in, move out cleaning, and all of the ads are serving the same keywords. This is a back end data that you would ask for, and this would be a problem you would identify. So the other question she asked Jason, I can't, Jason, I keep saying that. The other question that Elizabeth is asking is how often. I think this one is easy to me, but what's your thoughts?
Well, I mean, of course, we're both going to say monthly. Monthly reports are good because you get enough data for it to mean something, but you're not overwhelming. You're not letting things go on too long like quarterly. But the one thing I would say to that is, if you are getting that search terms report and that is important to you, I have some clients that review that weekly, and then it's very easy for you to just open that up in your email, open up a new email them back as you're scanning down the list of search terms with negatives. You could see things like the word product came through, or some brand name for a product came through, or the word rental came through, and you could just shoot back an email with your negative idea. So search terms, there's nothing wrong with weekly as long as you can handle that negative keyword idea list very quickly back to them. And the final thing, Chris, back in data, to me, this is all about deeper understanding of the conversion data. So they might tell you, hey, you got 30 calls this month, but what if all the calls were like 30 seconds? And so I would try to get as much data about your conversions as possible. So are you able to get the lead form customer names, the full names, their phone numbers and stuff, and try to tie that back to actual customers you had? Are you able to see how long the phone calls lasted? Are you able to know the definition of a conversion? Is it just when someone viewed the contact page, or is it when they actually filled out a lead form? Is it any kind of phone call, or is it when someone lasted at least 3 minutes on the phone? Is it multiple people? Is it the same person calling in 5 times as 5 conversions? Or is it one person per conversion? I think all the information about conversions is very important to the definition of conversions is important to know.
Yeah, good point. Good point. All of this will help determine how valuable your AdWords campaign is, Elizabeth, and I hope that's useful. Reporting is very subjective to exactly the data that's being provided. So, if you, listener, would like to have your question answered on the show, please send us your question at paidsearchpodcast.com. My name is Chris Schaefer, the manliest half of the Paid Search Podcast, and Jason's over there too. Thanks for listening.